Stop telling me about this, I'll tell you about that. Stop talking shit, you walk into another trap.
Hello and welcome to the show. Did you hear the latest about the coronavirus?
Coronavirus declared a serious imminent threat to public health in the UK.
Spreading with 9 confirmed cases now in the UK.
At the heart of a European outbreak is this man, Steve Walsh, unwittingly infecting people in France and Britain.
The man dubbed the super spreader.
The super spreader.
The super spreader.
The super spreader.
Super spreader.
It's not a title he wants.
Poor sod! They make it sound like he did it on purpose. Like he's going around in a cape sneezing in people's dinner. It's brutal. When did we start giving ill people nicknames? My uncle's got IBS. We don't call him the arse sprinkler. Look alive, here comes Shitty Shitty Bang Bang. Super spreader, he infected 11 people. That's nothing. My mate has given 20% of Tinder an STD. We don't call him the thrush and roulette. We call him knob rot. We need information, not nicknames. I mean, apparently, the coronavirus could kill 45 million and infect 60% of the global population. Still, at least the World Health Organization are working on a cure.
They say a vaccine to tackle the disease could be ready in 18 months.
18 months? Who's delivering it? Yodel? Who's working on the cure? Gary Barlow on ketamine?
Right, guys. Time is of the essence. Oh, shit, they're all dead.
You think that's bad? Look what the head of the World Health Organization said. A virus is more powerful in creating political, social and economic upheaval than any terrorist attack. Don't give ISIS tips.
Cancel the rockets. Fetch us, sneeziest warrior.
Imagine that just in a training camp.
Repeat after me. Pick it, lick it, roll it, flick it.
Still, nothing to worry about. The world's finest mind is on it.
And as I mentioned, by April, or during the month of April, the heat, generally speaking, kills this kind of virus, so that would be a good thing.
April! People need a cure, not a month. I've got shingles. Have you tried November? Good month, solid month. It's madness. We can't trust Trump with science. He struggles with English.
I know words. I have the best words.
Applicables. Look, wait. Write these obstacles, Karen. Lieutenant Colonel Vidbin.
Wishing you a beautiful look.
And God bless the United States.
So, you're probably thinking April is the maddest cure. Oh, no. According to a guru from India, consuming cow urine and cow dung will stop the effect of infectious coronavirus. Will it? That sounds like a pervert who got caught. Are you drinking cow piss? I am a scientist. People must be saved. It's crazy, isn't it? What, are we going to have cows in planes? Lock and load, Daisy. Look, it's the super spreader. Shit in his mouth. There's so many insane parts to this story. I mean, look at the way they've been keeping people indoors in China. with drones.
小朋友，现在是非常时期，别在外面溜达，口罩也没戴，赶快往家走。现在这个冠状病毒多严重啊，快跑！
Poor kid. She's out for a walk and the robot's like, go home! You reek of death! That would never work over here, would it? Imagine that. Just imagine that. Go inside, kid. Fuck off, pedo! Mind you, you can understand why they want to leave the house. Fair to say the lockdown has got to some people. Chinese man runs 31 miles around his apartment during coronavirus outbreak. You're probably thinking he's got a huge apartment. Guess again. How did I stay sane? By running in circles like a demented hamster. Can you imagine living below him? The day the lockdown's over, they will beat him to death. Still could be worse. One bloke did a concert for his neighbours on his balcony that they did not ask for. Prepare your ears. Christ, 10 minutes of that, you'd want the virus. He went on for hours. Which I presume is Chinese for shut the fuck up. Moving on. Have you heard the latest about the Japanese cruise ship?
Hundreds of American passengers have been evacuated from a quarantined cruise liner off the coast of Japan, while 78 Britons remain stranded on board.
So the Americans have been evacuated. What were the British given? Free porn offered to quarantined coronavirus cruise passengers. That's just madness. Surely they were already running out of tissues. How did Grandad die? Wanking like a gibbon. Now, back in British politics, Boris is getting his choo-choo.
The high-speed rail link, HS2, will go ahead. The Prime Minister says it's a difficult and controversial decision.
This is a fantastic project for the country.
Not only that, he is stepping up work on his plan to build a £20 billion bridge from Scotland to Ireland. A few of you going, hey, it sounds like a good idea. It's not. Did you know what's under the Irish Sea? More than 1.5 million tonnes of explosives, along with radioactive waste from Britain's nuclear weapons programme. The Irish Sea is where we dumped all of our bombs from World War II, and our leader wants to build a 28-mile-long bridge on top of it. Now, I'm no engineer. Hell, I'm no Bob the Builder. But aren't bombs a bit bang, bang? Oh, fuck. Everyone's dead, Bob. It's nuts. And it will cost 20 billion. What a waste. Imagine what we could do with that money. We could build 11 hospitals, 600 schools, 14,000 fire stations. Or we could build a massive sauna to see if we can make Prince Andrew sweat. There is stuff we can do with that money. Mind you, if you think Boris talks nonsense, listen to his chief advisor, Dominic Cummings.
In the past, you've called HS2 a disaster zone and an error, so why is it going ahead?
The night time is the right time to fight crime. I can't think of a rhyme.
Right. How's the economy? The pound is sound like the ground. I'm a greyhound. He didn't stop there.
Or have you changed your mind on HS2?
I think we need PJ Masks on the job.
You're probably thinking, PJ Masks, who's he? An architect, an engineer? Nope. They're cartoon superheroes. This is ridiculous. The last thing Boris Johnson needs is advice from CBeebies. Imagine him in Parliament. How will we solve the deficit? Well, in the words of a wiser man than me, Macca Pacca. Wacka wacka. Micka macka moo. Macka packa, appa yakka, icka acka. Ooh. Hum dum, acka pang. Ang, ooh. Backa backa. Backa wacka. Micka. Wacka. Ooh. To be honest, that actually sounds a bit like Boris anyway. Now, elsewhere in politics, did you see the BBC Labour leadership debate? It was mental. Look at the way they were introduced.
Rebecca Long-Bailey was born in Old Trafford. She's the shadow business secretary. Lisa Nandy is the only candidate in the race who's not in Jeremy Corbyn's top team. Sir Keir Starmer is the shadow Brexit secretary. He was born in South London. His dad was a toolmaker. His mum was a nurse.
Interesting. And Emily Thornberry, what's her life story?
And Emily Thornberry, the shadow foreign secretary, born in Guildford, and as a child was so poor that when her dad left the family home, her cats had to be put down.
Holy shit! What an intro! This is Keir Starmer, his mum was a nurse. This is Emily, her mum threw a kitten in a wood chipper. It's absolutely insane. Everyone else gets a normal intro. They're going on about a dead cat. Also, is anyone else thinking what I'm thinking? Did her mum have to kill the cats? Your dad's gone, we got no option. Let them outside, Mum. Cats are natural-born survivors. They go from house... No, Emily! I got no option! Give me that brick! Don't go outside, Emily! Don't you look at me! Why are we talking about dead pets? It doesn't matter. Why'd you vote for Boris? His mum punched a gerbil. And here's another question. Why are the BBC asking future Labour leaders questions like this?
Keir Starmer, this is for you. Who is this?
Schofield.
First name?
Philip.
Lisa Nandy, who is this?
Oh, crikey, Chief. Someone with very cool hair.
Rebecca Long-Bailey, who's this?
Cole.
Yeah.
Andy Cole.
Andy Cole.
Who cares? It's a leadership contest, not Guess Who. Christ, what did they do with Emily Thornberry? Show her cat. Who's this, Emily? It's Tiddles! Fucking make it stop! Make it stop! Still, at least they got to say something. Newsnight wouldn't even let them talk.
Well, raise your hands if you're into scrapping tuition fees. That's everyone. Renationalising water and electricity. Yeah. Abolishing private schools. Nobody.
Who likes good things? Who likes bad things? It's madness. Do we really want a party who've had problems with anti-Semitism raising their right hands? It's not all bad news for Labour. Sadiq Khan is ahead in the polls for London Mayor, mainly because he's up against lunatics. I mean, did you hear about Drill Minister?
Drill Minister has announced he will run for London Mayor this year, saying he represents real voters.
Real voters? Sweet. Let's see this guy who's just like you and me.
People are just getting at me on the line. Jilly, you need a voice.
It's the London Mayor, not the Masked Singer. Either that, he's really worried about the coronavirus. It gets madder. Mayoral candidate Rory Stewart is offering to stay on Londoners' sofas to learn more about the city. And just in case that wasn't creepy enough, he made a video.
Please have me to stay with your family or just in your home, seeing your borough. Promise to bring a sleeping bag and a box of chocolates.
Is he crazy? A politician staying around your house. As soon as his head hits the pillow, bye-bye eyebrows. It's true. He'll wake up looking like this. Also, what about the coronavirus? What if he's a super spreader? What if he's taken in by lunatics? Just coughing. I think I've got it.
Don't worry.
They've got just the cure. Join me after the break when I'll be chatting to one of this country's greatest ever female footballers. Have you ever been with a boyfriend and just had a kick around in the garden?
No, actually, that's my worst nightmare.
Is it?
Whenever I've dated, I prefer to, like, date someone that's not that into football.
Yeah, but it'd be fun, though, wouldn't it?
No.
Would not?
That would totally put me off.
You wouldn't want to go down the park and just sort of ping some 40-yard passes to each other?
Maybe.
No?
Well, no. I can't quite see that.
A whoop, nice to hear, man. Welcome back to the show. This week on Playground Politics, I asked the kids for some tips on being a parent.
I want to be a dad, and I want tips from kids.
Well, you are dad.
I'm not a dad.
Oh.
I mean, that felt full Jeremy Kyle then, didn't it?
Do you have any tips for parents?
Let your kids do whatever they want. No matter if it's play on their iPad or PS all day or take over the world.
Okay. What's the worst thing about being a parent?
Having kids.
Okay.
Because they're so annoying.
Right.
I'll just starve them to death. Jacob, that's a bit dark, isn't it?
It is a bit dark, Jacob.
They say a lot of things about me, and they sometimes say too much about me.
Like what kind of stuff?
Like stuff I don't want them to say. Like, my child knows a lot of Spanish when I don't know the most.
Oh, that would really hurt, yeah. If you had children and you wanted them to go to bed, what would you do?
Just say it's going to be all right. I normally get to sleep by putting sounds of the sea on.
Oh, nice. And is that just like... So what's the latest you've stayed up till?
9 o'clock.
How does that feel?
Painful.
Should your parents be able to take photos of you and put them
No.
on social media?
No.
Why?
Because there might be somebody and they might know your house.
Yeah.
And when you walk, they might get you, and maybe they just kidnap you or just kill you.
Whoa. All for one photo.
So that's how. And kids, if you're watching, and grown-ups, and even you grown-ups, you naughty grown-ups, don't put anything from your people or your best friend or anything in your family, because there might be some serial killers or kidnappers. So don't do them. Don't. Or I'm gonna be very disappointed.
Do you sometimes get annoyed when your mum or dad put photos of you on Facebook?
Yeah, sometimes. Because I feel like something's gonna come for me.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Wow.
Lots of people are just gonna be outside my door.
Jeez.
Yeah, the next day.
From one photo?
Yeah.
Wow.
I like it.
My first guest is one of this country's best ever female footballers. Eniola Aluko is a former England footballer who earned over 100 international caps and holds the record as Chelsea's leading goalscorer. She then made history as the first female pundit on Match of the Day and found herself at the centre of a media storm when a former England manager was found guilty of racial discrimination. Now, she's documented her amazing career in a new autobiography. Please welcome my guest, Eniola Aluko! Take your seat. Thanks very much for coming on the show.
These are the coolest chairs in TV.
Well, I would say that is one of the
This
coolest
is
suits
amazing.
I've ever seen.
I'm trying.
I wouldn't be able to carry that off.
Really? I think you...
Do you think? No, I'd look like
Maybe
a... You nearly went, oh, I think no, you're right.
Gotta be honest.
No, but you look great in it.
Thank
So
you.
thanks for coming on the show. You've only just retired, haven't you?
Yeah, literally, like, last month, yeah.
And how? What's it like being a civvy? Does it feel weird?
It's nice being a civvy. I mean, I guess that, you know, your whole life as a professional footballer, well, certainly, you know, for me, professional football for the last 10 years, it's very organised, it's very structured. You don't get to go out like normal people on a weekend and get pissed.
What
You
was,
know,
what was the first meal that you ate when you weren't a professional footballer?
Well,
Did
this
you
is the
pick
thing.
out?
So, one of the things I promised myself was, Eni, don't let yourself go. Like, stay fit, you know, because I've seen some of these ex-professional footballers, and...
I think we know that we're all...
Yeah, like...
We're talking about Sir Neil Ruddock, yeah. Yeah. No, he's a
But I
mate of
wasn't
mine.
actually thinking him.
Yeah.
I was thinking, like, Maradona, you know, like, these... Like, it's not pleasant. So, you know, I'm just like, OK, you know, carry on with your training regime, eat well, because it makes you feel, you know, it makes you feel good.
So you didn't have one bit of filth?
I've had a McDonald's recently.
But that was it?
That was it, and I felt, like, awful afterwards.
Right.
And that was only because, like, it was, like, really late. It was, like, 2 o'clock in the morning, and I was really hungry.
Yeah.
And I was like, why did I do that? But I kind of felt like I could, because I was like, I'm not a footballer anymore.
And you've got a book out. It's an autobiography.
Yes. So the book's called They Don't Teach This.
Right.
And it's basically about the life lessons that I've learned through my career, through difficult moments, good moments, that no one taught me, but I can sort of pass on through the book. So everything from success, from failure, winning, losing, friendship, forgiveness, family, identity, like it's all packed in there. And it's sort of through the eyes of a footballer, I suppose.
Right. And what was that like, sitting down with your career and sort of dissecting it and looking for kind of lessons? Is that painful?
No, it was like therapy.
Was it?
Yeah, it was amazing. I mean, it took like 18 months.
So were you
I got there.
were you looking back at like clips of yourself playing and just going,
Yeah,
oh, get
like,
in. Oh,
how did
yes. Is that what you do? Because that's what I do. I've played one football game that was on TV and I've watched it a lot.
Really? Which one?
I was lucky enough, I played in the Grenfell game at QPR.
Okay, nice.
And I put a cross in where I beat I think he's the guitarist from Muse. And I bent a cross in, and I've watched it so many times. Like, my wife will come home and
That's
go, really?
fine.
We're watching this cross? But I was curious, like, if you've actually represented your country over 100 times and scored goals,
Yeah.
have your family ever caught you just sat there popcorn going, you get it? All right, Mum?
Yeah, I have.
Yeah, yeah.
Times, yeah. No, usually, actually, it's when, like, as a striker, if you're going through a, like, dry spell, it's actually really, like, for me anyway, I always used to watch myself score just to remind myself I could do it.
Right.
Because it's like, it's quite psychologically quite difficult.
Yes.
You know, when you're going through a dry patch of scoring and you're just, nothing can go in for you. It's literally, you've got to remind yourself, OK, like, I can actually score. So I used to do it all the time, like, for confidence reasons.
But what's interesting about you is not only were you a footballer, but you're also a lawyer at the same time.
Yes.
And how was that, combining those two
Yeah.
like high-pressure jobs?
So as female footballers, we kind of, before it became professional football, we had to balance studies and work.
Yeah.
And for me, I went to university, I studied law, and I just kind of wanted to finish the journey of studying as a lawyer. And so I trained as a lawyer in sport and entertainment. And that was really fun. Like, I got to, like, represent celebrities and...
Oh, really? Who did you represent?
So one of my first cases was, well, he's in your field. It was Frankie Boyle.
Oh,
Frankie
really?
Boyle. Yeah, it was a big case. He was suing, I think it was the News of the World,
Right, yeah.
for calling him a racist. So we were representing Frankie Boyle, and I got to sort of go for lunch with Frankie Boyle every day, and I was like the paralegal that you see behind the lawyers, like,
All right.
Like scooting away. But it was so amazing because I got to learn about all the sort of law behind media, and so it's stayed with me to this day, actually.
And you've had your own experiences with racism.
Yes.
Does it feel like it's more of a problem in football than it ever has been?
I think it's always been a problem.
Yeah.
And we know John Barnes back in the day got bananas thrown at him. I think now it's a problem because we're seeing it a lot more because of social media. So we're more aware of it every single week rather than it being one event a season. And that's a shame, that it's happening so often. And, it's almost par for the course now on social media, racism as a footballer. It's like, well, it's almost what you expect. And that shouldn't really be the case. But I think ultimately it is sort of a byproduct of society. Racism's in society. I think for football, we have a responsibility to make sure that the punishments are really strong.
Yeah.
And I think that's where there's a bit of a problem.
And so what do you think is the answer?
I actually think in football, and we've seen recently with, you know, Man City potentially getting kicked out of the Champions League for 2
I
years.
think I speak for the nation when I say ah, ha, 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 ha.
But it's all about money.
Yes.
You know, it's driven by money. Racism, I don't think, is high in the priority level because
Right.
it doesn't affect the pockets of the clubs. I think the minute you say to a club, OK, if racism happens at your game, you'll be deducted 3 points. Or if racism happens, the team that the fan who is racist on has to get off the pitch, then I think we'll start seeing some serious change. Because they can do it. They've done it in, you know, they've done it in other areas. They've done it in financial fair play. They've done it in corruption, anti-doping. Racism just doesn't seem important enough, I think.
Yeah. And do you think having sort of elected officials like, you know, someone like Trump or Boris, given some of the rhetoric that they've used, do you think that feeds into wider society?
Yeah, of course. I think what's happened is that people feel like they have a license to be, you know, to be racist and to be bigots, and it's almost given people more of a confidence around their ignorance. And if the top leaders are doing it, then it gives people the right almost. But I think we all should take responsibility for ourselves. You know, I've seen a lot of people say a lot of things, and I don't take that on as my own opinion.
Here's a question I want to ask. In women's football, do you have the sort of male equivalent of wags? Do you know what I mean? Are they kind of like blokes sort of hanging out watching
blokes and geezers? Kind of, yeah. I mean, but the difference, I think, is that in women's football, whether it's boyfriends, girlfriends, partners, when you go, they become sort of part of the social group.
Right.
So I'm good mates with a lot of my teammates' partners,
Right.
for example. Whereas I think in men's football, the wags are a bit competitive. Like,
Yeah.
it's a bit like, no, I look better than you know? And maybe there's a bit of, like, rivalry there. I mean,
Yeah.
we saw what happened with Colleen and Rebecca Vardy. And
Wagatha Christie.
that was like, yeah. So I do think maybe that's the difference. But yeah, there's definitely like...
Because I was thinking about this, like, I think kind of female footballer would kind of be the perfect kind of woman, because if you got married, this isn't me cracking on to you, by the way, but I was thinking, how much fun, like, have you ever been with a boyfriend and just had a kick around in the garden?
No, actually, that's my worst nightmare.
Is it?
Yeah.
That's
like,
brilliant.
Not my worst nightmare, but whenever I've dated, I prefer to, like, date someone that's not that into football.
Really?
Because it's just like, you know, I've been on dates before and it's like, it becomes an interview.
Yeah.
It's like,
I see.
you know, when you played in the World Cup, but how did it feel? And
I'm not on about that. I'm sort of saying, you know, like, let's go do some keepy-ups.
no.
No? That,
weird.
Yeah, but it'd be fun, though, wouldn't it?
No.
Would not?
That would totally put me off.
You wouldn't want to go down the park and just sort of ping some 40-yard passes to each other?
Maybe.
No?
Well, no. I can't quite see that.
I think that'd be fun.
That doesn't really float my boat,
OK.
sorry.
The other question, this is very weird. So you played for Chelsea.
Yeah.
And I was curious, are there chants in women's football? Because
yeah, there are, but it's like nice ones.
Right.
Like women's football's quite nice.
Yes.
And actually, I think the trick into sort of making it more of a atmospheric event
Yes.
is to have a bit more drums and a bit more rivalry.
Yeah.
Without the sort of horrible side that you get in men's football.
Yeah.
Because I think you need that. I think in football you do need a bit of like, nah, you, and
Yeah.
you know, you need a bit of grit, but without it being sinister.
You're the sporting director at Aston Villa?
Yes, yeah.
And that's one of your aims, isn't it? To try and create more of a... Is it more of a culture?
Yeah,
in
I
women's
think
football?
it's more of an entertainment package around
Yeah.
football. I think we're seeing now, like, our attention spans have just diminished.
Yes.
So, like, to keep us there, to keep us engaged and to keep us coming back every week, I think we have to build entertainment around the football, and I think that's what America do really well.
Yeah.
So I think that's a challenge and a positive challenge that we have, to try and get people coming to women's games a bit more.
You really wouldn't go for a kick around?
Do you really want to?
I would love that.
Okay, maybe. One day, maybe.
Okay. What we're going to do if one of us scores, we should have a celebration.
What should we do?
Sharp shuffle, do you know that?
No, show me. Oh, no.
How?
I cannot do that, I'm sorry.
How about, know that? That's one.
But you know all these handshakes they do? Like,
Yep.
you know, all this, like... No, you've got to start... OK, here.
Yep.
Right.
Yep. Yep.
And spud me.
Spud you. What? Oh, what? That could work.
That.
Is that called spudding?
Yeah, like...
I didn't know that.
I'm from Birmingham, so
Is it from Brum?
I think so.
Spud me.
I'm not sure.
You don't see that in the Peaky Blinders, do you? Fucking spud me, mate. That was absolutely fantastic. Ladies and gentlemen, please give it for my guest, the wonderful Eniola Aluko! That's great. Thank you very much indeed. Join me after the break when I'll be talking to the fantastic comedian and one of the stars of Afterlife, Kerry Godliman.
I try not overthink what my kids might have seen.
Yeah, well, she, a 13-year-old son.
13-year-old daughter,
right.
but she casually asked me when she was 10 if I knew what teabagging was.
Wow.
I know.
Well, what's interesting about that, so you've got two heads on there. You have the head of the comedian thinking,
Yeah.
well, that's really funny.
Yeah.
And then the head of the mum going,
Yeah.
Who wins?
No, comedian.
Yeah. Welcome back. My next guest is a brilliant stand-up and a hugely successful actor. Kerry Godliman is an actor and acclaimed stand-up comedian.
It's like having a little mate, innit? Having a little dog. No, it's not like having a little mate. Oh, hello, have you met my new mate whose shit I pick up?
Over 2 decades, she starred in a huge range of shows, including Derek, Our Girl, Save Me, Call the Midwife, and delivered a heartbreaking performance in Ricky Gervais's Afterlife.
And I've loved you ever since. You fat twat.
Now she's back with her new tour, Bosh. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Kerry Godliman! Very well. How are you?
I'm very well, thank
Excellent.
you. That was a nice little... It's like your best bits at the end of getting kicked out of a reality show.
Yeah. Is it weird to see something like that, a little show reel of you?
I'm a big fan of a montage anyway.
Yeah.
I love a montage.
But does that freak you out, how much stuff you've done? Because we were kind of going through all your work and just going, holy shit, you're busy.
Yeah, you dig it. I would have loved it if you dug out some old bills or Holbees or something like that.
No.
They're the good... That's
All the good stuff. And I guess you're best known at the minute for being in Ricky Gervais's Afterlife.
Yep.
Playing a dead woman.
I played his dead wife.
That's right,
Yeah. Speaking from beyond the grave.
Mm.
So he's, like, grieving and he's watching videos of her. Well, initially, she leaves him videos to tell him how to work the dishwasher and to remember to feed the dog and not give up on life. But actually, there's also other clips of just them hanging out and being happy together.
And that's what's so lovely about it is because there's clearly love between the two characters and yet you also call him a fat twat.
Yeah,
And
well, they're mates as well
it's
as
lovely.
a couple, and
And
yeah,
it's-
they've got a real connection.
And I found it weird watching it, seeing you. It was quite harrowing. And I
Yeah.
was thinking, what was it like for your family kind of watching that?
It broke my husband.
I can imagine, yeah.
Because I was out, I had a gig, and he watched it on his own, and when I came back, he was in bits.
Yeah.
He was like, that's my wife.
And have the kids seen it?
No.
Yeah, I was going to say it'd be too much.
I think it's too much, yeah.
Brilliant as it is.
They've seen the trailer, so they get the gist.
Yeah, the trailer's enough to scare the shit out.
They know what happens.
And from that, you've also got a Channel 4 show out that is around porn.
Yeah, adult material, yeah.
It's a real mix to go from Ricky Gervais
Yeah.
to porn.
Yeah, it's not porn, Russell. I'm not doing porn. You just have
I said it was about
clarity.
Porn. Yeah. But it's in the world of porn.
It's set in the world of porn, yes.
So what are you performing?
I do not perform porn.
Not suggesting that.
I don't do porn.
No?
At the moment.
No. But what is your character?
Yeah.
I'm a German plumber.
My character is an MP and a barrister, so
Okay.
she very much does not do the porn. But the main character, it's her story, and she's a porn star. And it's about consent and
Right.
power and stuff like that. The whole thing is a little bit about consent, among other things. And you don't see
No.
porn.
Yeah.
Because then it would be porn.
Yes. But was that something... How old are your kids?
13 and 10.
So was that a thing where you...
They're not watching that.
No. But were you thinking about the role that porn plays in society?
Yeah, because it's talked about a lot now, isn't it? That
yeah.
it's now just, you know, kids have exposure to it in a way that I can't imagine. Oh, because it's always... People of an older generation, this is a sort of running joke about it being in a hedge. That was your access to porn, wasn't
Absolutely,
it?
yeah.
In a hedge.
A friend of ours used to find it in trucks.
What, they just go in trucks and
There was a disused truck somewhere in the woods.
There'd be a bit of porn
There'd be a load of grunt in there.
Yeah. Load of what?
A load of grunt.
Grunt?
Yeah.
Just checking.
Yeah. Is that always that thing you never... I assume that was a well-known...
I haven't heard that.
No. You've never...
Might be a bloke thing?
Yeah. But it's like...
Because ladies, we don't do
No, well, that is...
grunt.
Yeah. Well, these specifically, they were called grunt mags.
Oh, right.
So, you know, like...
Oh, man.
I know, it's so horrible, isn't it?
Really bait stuff.
Yeah. But it's a very different world now. If you're a kid, you just type in grunt, and... Even
Pussycats!
Yeah, pussycat,
Bang!
grunt. Yeah, exactly.
So, yeah, it is different, I think, for young people. I try not overthink what my kids might have seen.
Yeah, well, she a 13-year-old son.
13-year-old daughter,
right.
but she casually asked me when she was 10 if I knew what teabagging was.
Wow.
I know.
Well, what's interesting about that, so you've got two heads on there. You have the head of the comedian, thinking, well, that's really funny.
Yeah.
And then the head of the mum going,
Yeah.
Who wins?
No, comedian.
Yeah. But what was your answer?
I just was like, I do, but you shouldn't. And then...
Very good.
I don't think it is a good answer. I mean, if I was a really cool mum, I'd have been like, well, let's talk about teabagging.
Yeah. But then you've got to make sure all your windows are shut. Like, just in case there's a passerby going like that, before you know.
Yeah.
But the new show's called Bosh.
Yes.
Why Bosh? Which is also another name we had for porn when I was a kid. It wasn't.
No, don't say that. I wonder why it was selling so well.
Yeah. But what's Bosh mean?
Bosh, I picked up on when I did Taskmaster, and it was a nickname that I picked up from Greg for just how I approached that show. I just went in, got it done, got out, didn't overthink it. And always when I was doing a task, I would sort of assume that everyone was doing it like that. And then when you're, as you know, when you watch your fellow panellists do it, you're like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
And some of them would just take ages or... And I was like, no, just get in, Bosh, crack it out, get out.
And you won Taskmaster, didn't you?
I did win Taskmaster.
Were you delighted?
Oh... So happy.
Who did you beat?
I beat Jessica Knappett by a point, and that was very close. It was very close. We had a game of sausage or finger, and so much fun.
What is sausage or finger?
Well, close your eyes. Sausage or finger. Well, you know that I haven't got any sausages on me, but basically, that was to tell you.
Oh, so
So we had sausages and fingers.
Wow.
Available.
I mean, I hear that's how Jimmy Savile got away with it for so many years. It was a sausage. Oh, cheers, Jim.
So it could have gone the other way.
Yeah, it could have.
But apparently I've got very cold digits.
Yeah.
That's what swung it.
Did you ever get competitive in it?
Yeah.
There was one that we had where we had to basically, over a minute, befriend a lady, like an old lady, and I really got on with her. We just sort of clicked. It was fine. Turns out she was into earwax removal videos. So was I.
What?
So we just... And then
How did you get to that?
Yeah, but... She said at the end of it, she held my hand and went, I'd just like to say, out of all the ones I've met, you are my favourite. So that means I win.
Yeah.
Then we get to the show, and that bit isn't in, and I went fucking mental. I was like, she said I was the best.
Where's that? Did you get the most points?
No, of course not.
Oh, I'd be livid.
I was furious.
Yeah.
But then you sort of try and stand up to Greg, and you're like, all right.
Yeah, no. Yeah.
So, Bosh, are you like that in real life?
Yeah.
Just...
Yeah, a little bit abrasive.
Right.
Maybe a little bit. And the show is... the stand-up show is about sort of unpicking that a bit. And, like, I am like that. And can be funny. Like, sometimes my kids are like,
funny. What
why are you so angry, Mummy? It's like,
Yeah.
because it's funny!
Yeah.
So it can be amusing, but also the show is about reflecting on when it is inappropriate. And I don't know. Stand-up's like looking at two different sides of a coin, isn't it?
Of course.
So, yeah, so it's a bit of that.
So you've got like a Channel 4 show out, you've got Afterlife out, and you've got a stand-up tour out. You're also a mum. Do you ever relax?
I do relax.
What do you do?
But those things don't all happen at the same time.
No, but it's a lot of stuff.
I have holidays, I do yoga, I garden. Don't look like that at me.
What holidays? What are we talking? Wait.
I like any holiday, but I do really like a camping holiday.
Do you really?
I do. No, hang on, you're doing the same face you did with the gardening.
It just feels a bit naff.
What do you mean, naff?
It's just like...
Oh, that's the best bit.
Oh, we're in England.
That's not naff.
Dogging.
Well, I don't do that.
No, I don't. No. But what about a noise in the night in a flimsy tent?
Lean in. Ooh, what's that?
What if it's the Blair Witch?
It won't be, though, will it? Because I'm not 10.
So basically, Kerry's all over our TV, or you can go and see her live. She's absolutely brilliant. You should do that. Ladies and gentlemen, please give it up for the wonderful Kerry Godliman! Thank you. Now it's time for good deeds and an amazing story about a woman who's dedicated the last 30 years of her life to rescuing people.
Hi, I'm Viv, and I've been an RNLI volunteer for 30 years.
Go on! Lad! Hold on! OK, get him in board as quick as you can.
You never know until a pager goes what you're going to face. Whoever's first here, you are already thinking, what do we need to do? You know, where are we going? And planning how you're going to carry out the rescue.
We don't know what we're going up to. It might be flat calm now, but in an hour's time, it might be a big swell. It can get dangerous fast.
I think you need to feel a bit of fear because you need to respect the sea. It can be really rough, it can be really cold. It's a very physically demanding role. Over the years, Middle and Broadhaven have been responsible for rescuing hundreds of people. To know that you could potentially save someone's life, that's what keeps us all going. I've always lived in Little Haven, and the lifeboat is a very large part of the village. Running to help, push the boat down the beach was just part of how we all grew up. In 1990, there were three of us, myself, Mandy and Philippa, who decided we would offer our services and see if we could help make up numbers on the crew. At the time, there were no other female crew members as part of the RNLI. Over the past 30 years, I have worked with many different crew and have been responsible for rescuing a lot of people. One day, a letter came through the post and it says on Her Majesty's service, and I thought, oh my word, what on earth is this? And I was awarded with the MBE. It was really unexpected, because I don't do any of this for any recognition. I do it because it's something that, you know, I really enjoy doing. My son Byron has now joined the crew. I know now how my mother felt when I was going out.
It becomes part of your DNA, if you like. We're born by the sea, we live by the sea. And let's hope we don't die by the sea.
We rely on public donations. Without those, we couldn't save lives at sea. People need to continue fundraising, leaving something in their will to the lifeboat, and businesses maybe put some of their profits into the RNLI. That would also be good. I'm very proud to be a lifeboat crew member. I'm proud to be part of the RNLI because they've been doing this for such a long time, and hopefully they'll be doing it for generations to come.
Thanks very much for watching the show. Good night, my friend. Good night.